level that you're never gonna get. That's free. Always push it up until the red. That's free. Never expect your respect. That's free. I train 52 weeks times 10. That's free.
The Dark Knight Returns Book 3 opens on one of the weirdest Batman moments that there's ever been. Weirder than Del Boy. Batman dressed in a full fat suit tackles a woman who looks like Brigitte Nielsen with swastika nipples. Oh no. It's clear this is where crazy Frank Miller started coming across. Even today it's slightly garish, and in my opinion it is the book's lowest point. On first reading this, I can remember it completely derailing the book, and it's aged very poorly because of it. I don't know why Batman would even have this suit. He has the appearance of a burn victim, and if it was to be picked to be inconspicuous, then I don't know how it achieves that. It stands out like Will Smith's ear, and the villain will have you wanting to run to the mountains like Rocky IV. That's a Brigitte Nielsen joke. Wish she was in Rocky IV. It's certainly a sign of the monstrosity that Frank would turn into, hinting at the sexual BDSM that would later plague his books, and it feels completely out of place, especially when a child is running around in a Robin costume in the background. What the fuck is going on? It's within this chapter that Superman's introduced. Whilst Miller's often criticised for his depiction of the big blue Boy Scout, to me it's very analytical. Superman at this point had become very one-dimensional as a character. In this book he's a government lackey, and due to his allegiances he might not always be on the right side. But it's very realistic to me, even though Superman isn't realistic at all. But imagine, yeah, if Superman existed today, he would have to side with Trump's policies, which go completely against equality and human rights. So it's very contradictory as an idea. At one point in the book we see Batman comment that we kill because we've made it too easy. That's the perfect analysis of Superman within this book. Throughout the story he murders soldiers, and whilst governments often present this as acceptable because it's part of war, you can murder someone as long as it's part of war, I simply can't agree. If murder's wrong, then it's wrong, period. The government are happy to sanction it when it fits their deeds, and because of this, people give it a pass. Miller deconstructed the world's most famous superhero in a clear way, whilst allowing Batman to be a voice of dissent amongst others. This created a beautiful dichotomy between the two, and it makes for a really gripping read. Like someone out of a Calvin Klein advert, the two converse, and it's interesting to see their opposing ideologies that hint at why the Dark Knight had to retire. Mirroring this, we see Commissioner Gordon retire, passing the role to Ellen Yindel. Two disagree heavily on the subject of Batman, and when she puts out a warrant for the Cape Crusaders' arrest, it's clear she's making a solid stance against vigilantism. Throughout the book she learns of Batman's importance, and whilst I don't necessarily like the character's beginning, by the end she represents the doubters and those who would come round to the idea that extremism must be dealt with in extreme ways. I've always loved Batman when he takes on the police, and any other time by the sounds of it, you dickhead. So I was head over heels with the Joker's escape during the Dave Endocrine show. We often see tales of police murdering innocent people, so it's refreshing to see someone who solely represents beating the crap out of policemen, as they're often shown to be corrupt. It's just the way the news can represent it, yeah, and this is deconstructing that. In the backdrop of this battle we witness the Joker murder hundreds of audience members on a chat show. To me this really represents our obsession with celebrity. No matter how wicked they are, we often put entertainment over morals, and it's easy to see how the public consciousness would be desperate to see the Joker be interviewed. They get exactly what they wish for, and his gassing of the audience, leaving them all laughing to death, speaks volumes to our ignorance when dealing with serious matters. We ignore the constant tragedy and death that goes on around us, and continue to smile as if nothing has happened. The audience dies laughing as we cut to Superman murdering soldiers in a foreign country who are doing nothing other than protecting their land. It's very, very political. Building towards the climax, we get several people openly questioning Batman's reasons for never killing the Joker. Sprawled across the news sections, the doubt clearly creeps into the Dark Knight's subconsciousness. Why has he never killed the Joker? Is it because without him he has no purpose? These questions make us doubt all the good that the hero has done, but it subtly cements his morality. After seeing how many Joker murders upon his escape, the tension rises within the story due to us questioning whether Batman will finally do what many view as necessary. This is outstanding and completely heightens the drama, and it leaps off the page as we go into their final battle. It's a shame that Batman murdered so many people in Batman v Superman. I wish they had have enforced in that film that Batman never kills, but Superman was so dangerous that he had to break his one rule in order to save the world. That movie completely misses that mark, and it turns the Caped Crusader into a serial killer, taking away any extra tension that could have been there in the final battle. Like, imagine how good it would have been, yeah, if Batman had been stood over Superman with his spear, knowing that if he killed him, he would save humans, but he would lose all of his humanity. That's why it's so good in this book. The fact that you believe Batman's finally gonna murder the Joker adds to the tension, because you know it's a no-win situation. He's not going to be returning the Joker to Arkham, there's going to be no going back. Ending in Batman and the Joker facing off in the Hall of Mirrors before finalising their encounter in the Tunnel of Love. There's very little subtlety for the statement that Miller is making. That doesn't detract from it though, and it's a brutal personal conflict. Batman loses control and snaps the Joker's neck, and whilst he doesn't kill the Joker, it's still a small victory for the Clown Prince of Crime. The Joker twists his own neck, breaking it and killing himself in the process. He dies laughing, safe in the knowledge that the witnesses will say Batman did it, meaning that the Dark Knight's reign of justice will now be fully questioned by the authorities. It's a haunting showdown that's stuck with me for years since I first read it. The Joker's final moments will stick with you forever. The white face brandished with a massive smile as something rustles out his body when it leaves, ending the book. Whilst the third issue starts off as the whole arc's lowest point, it quickly gathers pace and delivers on a final showdown that's satisfying between the Joker and Batman. It's the perfect summation of their relationship, and it's the only way that it could have possibly ended. There is a slight imbalance in quality in this issue, but by far the good outweighs the bad, and because of it, I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. So what did you think of the book? Comment below, let me know. Thanks very much for checking out this video. I'm reviewing the final chapter next week in my run up to the Dark Knight 3, the Master Race review. So make sure you subscribe to my channel to get my thoughts on that book and the Dark Knight Strikes Again when I review that. Thanks very much. Take care. Peace.